Hello, thank you for joining. Today we're going to speak about couchsurfing. Hello, Katya. Could you text in the chat mode whether you can hear? Yeah, hello. Can you hear me well and can you see me well? Let's check the sound. Oh, Natalia. So you need to become, let's say how to do this. Yeah, works. Thank you, Katya, for the comments. Natalia, can you, yeah, I can see you.
I can hear you well. What about me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you quite well, but probably some problem with the sound. Maybe you should
Okay.
do not
Actually,
move.
I would try to maybe to change the earphones. What do you think?
I don't know if it is a better version.
Yeah, I think it will be the better version actually. Just a minute.
Yeah, okay, reconnect.
What about now? Is it better?
I guess the same. Yeah, better.
Better, yeah.
Not much, but better.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's because of AirPods. Who knows? I would try not to move, just be still.
Yes. Do not stay still.
Mm-hmm.
So while we are waiting for everybody to get connected, I just wanted to introduce the topic. Today we speak about couch surfing. And I must admit, I always say couch surfing. I cannot do anything about this. Yeah. And I just wanted to say how I got to know about this. We met in 2018, I guess, yeah, in Isle. And I remember that I paid £300 for my accommodation, for a week accommodation. And I guess you paid none. That's how I got to know about couchsurfing. And I haven't tried yet, but I do believe this is a kind of really helpful source. And this is a chance for everybody to travel for free. You know, it is so frustrating to hear my students saying, I've never been to any countries like Russia maximum. So I do believe this is a great source that can help anybody to travel around the world paying none. Am I right, Natalia? How did it come into your life? How did it all start?
Okay, so I would say that the main point of couchsurfing is not to pay none. It's just to travel, to learn how people live in their countries, in their cultures. That is the most important point, because if you are looking for somewhere to live for free, it's not about couchsurfing. And a real couchsurfer would never host you, believe me. Yeah, because we've encountered just many cases like in our couchsurfing experience when our hosts, they just, when we did a kind of request asking for hosting us just, for one night, and sometimes they answer it, okay, one night is not enough. What do you want? Do you want just to have a free accommodation? Or what? Or you want to know something about us, about our life, about our family? And I remember that it happened just in the very beginning of our couchsurfing experience, and it was the host from Seville in Spain, and he became a kind of our teacher of couchsurfing. So he told a lot about it, about its culture, because couchsurfing is a culture, I believe. And so it's not about free accommodation. It's about, you want to learn something about other people. about other cultures. And I think just I think that it's the best option for you to learn about the country you travel to, because if you stayed in a hotel, you would never know anything about people around you. Just you would see just tourist places and other tourists, and that's all. But if you stay in a real flat, real flat somewhere in Spain, I don't know, like in Croatia, in Romania, in England as well, and in Argentina, in Brazil, in France, in Italy, in Netherlands. So you would learn. Actually, you would have such a great experience about life there. You would see how people really just in fact they live, what do they eat, what they buy, what furniture they have in their flats, and many other things. And if we are talking about our when we first met in Nile, so in Norwich, the main point was not to save money. Actually, it was I can do it, like it was okay, I can pay, no problem. But it was interesting to be hosted by someone from England. But in that way I failed, because as for English, it was quite difficult. It was summer, and some English, they were kind of busy, or they were somewhere like for holidays at that period. But I was lucky to be hosted by a guy from Portugal. He was awesome. You remember him?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So anyway, it was yeah. So I met two cultures, Polish and Portuguese, in England.
Natalia, how does it work? I've got a very vague idea. You register on the website.
Yeah.
You upload your profile, like the photo and some kind of a story about yourself. Do I pay for the registration, for the verification, daily, monthly, whatever?
Actually, we registered in 2000. So it was in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. In the end of 2012, someone told us about that resource, and we registered, and we paid a kind of like, it was at that time it was like $10, but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't obligatory. It was like, if you can, you pay, and in that case you got some letter from somewhere, because they've got the main office somewhere in the United States, like in New York, and we got a kind of letter from them, and it means that our account is approved. Like we got a kind of verification from them. But I know that it's not obligatory. So many people, they just at that time they didn't pay, and it was okay. But as for now, I think it's free. After the lockdown, they asked for some money, like a kind of they asked for some donation, because it was a really tough time for couchsurfing. No traveling at all, and they need to pay for some advertisement. I don't know. I mean, those people who are a kind of like managers of this resource. But still, it's free. But you need, if you want to have a really, how to say, the account people can trust, you have to verify your mobile phone, your email, and etc. So it is necessary, because when we are looking for someone to host us, we first, we just look very attentively at the profile. We read all information about the host, about the flat, about the place where to stay, and the information. So, and the responses from hosts and guests. It's important, because there you can really see if this person is really a kind of person you can trust. And if we are talking about, is it safe or dangerous?
Yeah.
That is about that. So you have to be very attentive. Just it's not about, okay, just someone suggested me, just agreed with my request, and I can go. First, just check the profile. It's the most.
Yeah, you anticipated my question about the danger. Isn't it dangerous? You are coming to somebody's house.
Yeah.
You do not know the person, or alternatively, you give the keys that of your flat to some stranger, and he's living in your flat. So, isn't it just, I don't know, challenging?
It is challenging, and it is a
Disturbing.
really tricky moment, because you have, so there is a kind of like, you can never be sure in a person just to the final point. Yeah. So in that case, we have to how to balance, just to trust. So first, if you look attentively at the profile, you read everything about this person, about his accommodation or her accommodation, etc. You could have a kind of like view, and you can have a kind of like gut feeling,
Yeah.
So it means like you can trust. Okay, you can trust anyway. And as for our experience, we've never experienced something really bad. There were some really strange people who came to our flat, or we were hosted by them. They were a little bit strange, but it was okay. But actually I know other cases from other people, especially girls. They had not really good experience, especially with hosts who are male.
Yeah, you anticipated again something I wanted to discuss. They say this is only for youngsters, so you cannot have anybody with you, any partner. You cannot have a husband equivalent, a boyfriend, or a child to travel with, because this is kind of double challenging to find a place to stay. And you should be ugly and stupid. Otherwise,
no.
it is double danger again.
No, actually, I think that is for philosophy. We try to attract people, really good people, really nice to other people. That's why I think we attract really nice people. And as for my latest experience, I had a host in Belfast. It was a girl, and I had a host in Cardiff. It was a Polish guy, and it was so good, because we chatted a lot about different things, and nothing really bad. I mean, like a kind of like flirting, nothing kind of bad. And as for youngsters, we are talking about the age, right?
Yeah.
Actually, for example, we met a lot of hosts who were quite elderly, like 50 and plus, and even 60 and plus. And in our home, we had guests who were like in their 20s or something, and it was okay. So like if we're talking about the philosophy of couchsurfing, it's okay, because we share everything. We share our experience, we share our beliefs, our culture, our food, if we can, no problem. We share our accommodation, we share everything, and we learn a lot from young people, and they learn a lot from older people, or just it goes like that.
So, Natalia, the motto of couchsurfing is you have friends all over the world, you just haven't met them yet. Have you found any friends in any?
Yeah.
Have they become friends?
Actually, it goes like that probably 50% of our guests and our hosts are our friends. Of course, it means like it doesn't mean that we meet regularly, like once a year. Or it could be like we met, I don't know, like 5 years ago, but we are still in touch. via Facebook, for example, or via WhatsApp, and we can congratulate each other with Christmas, New Year, birthday, and etc. And so we are a kind of friends, maybe most I could say like virtual friends, but still we are friends. But sure, like 50% they just no contacts at all. But still we have really good friend in France, in Paris. We've met her like 4 times.
Wow.
So first she came to St. Petersburg. Then when we were in France, we stayed with her in her house. Then we met in Japan. It was like we created a kind of Japanese tour, and at that time she was there with her daughter, so we met there. And after that we met again in St. Petersburg. She came here and stayed with us, and in a year or something like that we met again in Paris. So it's fantastic.
50%. It's an impressive number. So
yeah, I think so. Actually, we have a Facebook profile mostly because of our friends from couchsurfing.
They say it's not popular among Russians. I mean, couchsurfing. It might be popular anywhere, but not with Russians. Do you know any couch surfers?
Yeah. I would say that it's not true, actually. It's a kind of myth, because still we've got lots of requests from Russian people, mostly from youngsters, from young people. And probably some, I would say, like the situation with couchsurfing nowadays around the world is a little bit mixed in terms of like young people. They don't understand what couchsurfing is. They think, as you said in the very beginning, that it is a kind of free accommodation. But it's easy to recognize from the first lines of their request. It's easy, and we never host that kind of people. But sometimes we've got really amazing guests, Russian guests, and I don't know, like from Russia, from Ukraine. Yeah. So it was so it's okay in Russia, and a lot of people know about it, and a lot of people in Russia, they use couchsurfing abroad. But still in Russia, no, it's okay. You can use it. Even in our first trip, we were hosted by 2 Russian girls. Oh no! So it was in Tver. What else? Which city? Торжок, Bryansk, and Kaluga. So Kiev, Odessa. So all of them were. Yeah.
Never been to any of them.
Even today, we've got a request from someone, Arkhangelsk.
Natalia, I really thought it's all about traveling to other countries. Like Russians go to other countries, and the people from other countries are coming from Russia. It's all about traveling around Russia as well. This is something new.
You know that we had really amazing guests from France. Probably he was from France, who traveled through Russia from China to Europe through Russia. And this guy was cycling actually nearly all the way. And he told us it's just amazing stories about how he was hosted by people somewhere like in Siberia, and no English at all, no French at all. They managed to communicate without any
body language.
Body language. But I remember he told me, oh, you know that for breakfast, my host, it was a woman, and she was like a quite old woman. She cooked him some fish soup, some pies, like in Russian traditions, and he was so amazed by Russian hospitality. He was, wow, it was amazing. So it really works even in very, very deep in Russia. It works a lot, really good.
Talia, did I get it right that it is quite challenging to find a host and to find a place? So there are so many things you need to take into consideration. So the host should meet your expectations. You should meet the expectations of the host. So might be very challenging. So to make this match, or it's exaggeration. It's an exaggeration.
I think it could be for some kind of people, because if, for example, it's difficult maybe to find a place to stay if you are not alone, at least a couple. Because we've got some requests for people like they are traveling in the company, like 3 or 4 people. It's difficult. They need to find different places to stay. Probably it's difficult if you travel with children, because a lot of cases families traveling with their kids, and it's more difficult, it's more challenging to find place to stay. But if you don't have really big expectations, it's okay, it's easy, because as for us, we're quite okay with any kind of places to stay. Even in Kenya, we stayed in Mombasa. We stayed in it was really how to say, a weird place, because this place was near slums, and it was a kind of blocks of flats, but with no running water. There was electricity, but no running water, and we stayed with a young guy. He hosted us, but it was the flat of his grandma. And this grandma she was a teacher, but just no running water, nothing. It was weird, but still, as for us, it's okay, because we can see many other how people live in real life. But for some people, it's really tricky, because they need, and for hosts as well, because they want that kind of people in their place, or this or that. So it depends. I would say, like, to sum up, I would say it depends. It depends on you. What your expectations are. It depends on the host. But in profile, you can read the information about the place, so it's easy just to decide in the very beginning of your search.
Are there any filters, like you can specify the age, or I don't know, the vocation or the place, or it's like you'll have to
the filters only about the place, so you just decide which place you need to find the host in, and that's all. No filters.
No filters at all, I guess.
No filters like that.
Maybe they need to introduce some to simplify the process of search. I don't know.
Do you remember? Are there any filters in couchsurfing when you are looking? Filters? What kind of filters?
How many people? How many kilometers from the center?
Okay, so the distance from the city center. How many people can? The host can.
People, yeah.
But as for age, jobs, no.
No, just like general information. Yeah.
Yeah, general information.
Yeah, and the final thing. So it sounds like a great source to find friends. It's a great source to stay with locals and learn the culture and the language and the places and all the information. They also say that this is a great source of ideas, any kind of ideas, even business ideas. On one of the websites, I read a story of one businessman. He was traveling around America thanks to couchsurfing, and he learned a lot of fruitful ideas. He came back to Russia, put them into practice, and all of them turned out to be very profitable. So how do you find this search of ideas?
Yeah, I believe that it is true. Because if your goal is just not to explore the life itself, just to learn something new, it works. I think it works really good. And I remember that I know that some people they want to change the place to live, and they find someone who can host them for some period of time, and they go to the place, to that country. They stay there for a while, just looking for a job or something else. So in that case, we can say like couchsurfing is really good for business. And why not to find someone who can just offer any good ideas? Why not? And
a business partner.
you know what? If not just to talk about business, but we know a few couples who actually got married thanks to couchsurfing. Yeah.
Wow.
Our last case, it was with our friend in St. Petersburg. She was dreaming to travel around Italy, and she went there, and she found a husband.
Wow.
So business, it's actually it's a kind of like that. It works. So I mean, like, it depends on your goals. If you want to find something really new, you can do it. I believe it's possible. Why not?
Yeah, okay. You can find whatever. It depends.
Yeah, even just any kind of collaboration with any kind of people. I think I know, like musicians, like street musicians. They go somewhere, they play music together, and etc. And I think, yeah, possible. So just like to sum up for young people, I think probably for adults it's not like really not necessary, but still for young people it's really vital. It's crucial because it doesn't cost a lot of money. First, you can find a place where to stay, and you can maybe it is easier to find for young people. It's easier to find someone who can host them because lots of hosts, they're really young people. Again, they can hang out together. They can share their ideas about studies, about business, about anything. So it's just great to have that kind of source for life, like to develop their own views on life, to develop their own understanding of life, and etc. And to find something new. If you are young and you want changes, it's perfect way to start with.
Yeah, sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah. And I do hope we are not doomed and the corona pandemic will end soon. And I do believe this is a very helpful and practical source that may help you to travel around the world and meet soulmates, find a husband.
Yeah, exactly. Soulmates and husbands and wives.
So I do believe we finish here. Thank you, Natalia, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure, actually.
Actually, come to Moscow. It's so sunny and warm nowadays. So Indian summer has come. So see you soon. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Just have a great weekend. The rest of the weekend at least.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.